Do you like military games that get you horny? Do you like guns that get your dick hard? Good. Insurgency Sandstorm is one of the best games to be released in 2019, and from a team that knows exactly what the fuck they're doing. The first Insurgency was so good. I played the fuck out of it for quite some time, and when I heard that Sandstorm was releasing, holy shit, I was more than fucking excited. Insurgency, the first one, was such a great game that it had people hooked from the get-go. Beautiful graphics, amazing sound design, and smooth as a baby's ass gameplay. Skip ahead a couple years and I finally got my hands on Sandstorm. Mind you, I'll be frank, as I have not put as much time into this as I would have liked to. I don't have an excuse, but honestly, fuck off, I'm playing it now, okay? Sandstorm is a hardcore milsim-like game that is extremely fun to play and very tactical at the same time. I say milsim-like because it has the desired milsim characteristics. Realistic weapons and damage, a heavy emphasis on team combat and communications, but it also has an arcadey feel to it as well. This game runs pretty fucking great on my mid-tier hardware, albeit some stutters that happen here and there, but that is no one's fault but my own. Game modes differ as you go through them, with Versus, Co-op, and Competitive being the three main ones. Versus will throw you into a game involving one out of three game modes: Push, Firefight, and Skirmish. Push is putting two teams against one another, one defending and one attacking. The attacking team has to take every point to win, and the defending team just can't let that shit happen. Firefight consists of 3 points. One's yours, one's enemies, and the third one's up for grabs by both teams. You have limited spawns, so the more you capture, the more of your team is alive and well, which means you can get in there and continue to kick some more ass. Skirmish is both teams duking it out for all points, all of which are up for grabs, a hardcore domination, so to speak. If your team successfully gets all objectives, you win. This is personally my favorite game mode, as it adds a little more time to each round, making for some more firefights that erupt, honestly. A couple more niche modes are included as well. Hardcore Co-op and Frenzy. Hardcore Co-op being a super realistic take on Co-op, one bullet and you're dead, slow player movement, and taking the mechanics of the game to the next level, and of course, using comms, because team combat is the main emphasis in this here. Absolutely. The AI is difficult as shit, you gotta make sure you're communicating to be able to do this mode correctly. Frenzy is an arcade mode that puts you and other players and friends or whatever against AI only using melee weapons, and some special type enemies that spawn in every now and then to give you a bit of a harder time. So this is basically a horde mode. Sandstorm is a very well made game with a very active dev team behind it. Consistent updates with new content and fixes, though there isn't much to fix. But this makes the longevity of the game last. Unlike some games we know. Anthem. The gunplay in this game is a little clunky at first, so you'll have to screw around with your settings a little bit to find the right sensitivity and whatnot. Once that's fixed, the whole thing opens up and becomes one of the best games you will ever fucking play. Being able to sneak into a room with a few guys, blow the door off the hinges with your gun and proceed to breach is one of my all-time favorite moments, and they tend to happen quite often. I found that the player base here differs, though, from taking the game super seriously to utterly fucking around, and I say that personally, I love both these personalities. The game is really easy to pick up and get into. Just a few minutes to get used to your HUD and what you're doing, not to mention the help icons pop up and makes the controls and mechanics pretty easy to understand as well. The art design of the game is absolutely stunning. From character models, gun models, vehicles, to exploding grenades and bullets hitting surfaces, this game is fucking gorgeous to look at. Also, the maps are really well designed, with a Middle Eastern feel to them. It's kinda nice. Some large areas that makes marksmen a serious threat, to house-to-house fighting with, makes the guy with the MP7 basically fucking Rambo. The map themselves are laid out quite nicely with the ability to flank around almost every objective, adding another mechanic into the game, which is awareness. Whether it's defending or attacking both have advantages and disadvantages, and the balance there is just fucking perfect. A nice touch to the game is that the houses look previously lived in, which is something I really love to see in a military game. It leaves a sense of ownership to some of these houses and apartments, like they were just there before we moved in. The sound design in Sandstorm is fucking orgasmic. This is by far this game's key feature. The volume in this game is loud from the start, and I've never turned it down. It's just too good to listen to. The guns sound loud, and they feel powerful as hell. You got footsteps from soldiers are exactly what you would expect them to sound like. Loud and stomping if running, but much more subtle and crouched and moving slowly. Yes, I know other games have done this, and sound design's a major key part of most multiplayer video games, but my god, they just nailed it here. A nice touch is that the little radio beeps after you've said something over your comms just adds to that immersion, and it's something I enjoy. Overall, this game sounds fucking fantastic, and from every aspect, and I encourage you to leave that volume as high as it'll possibly go. Now, mind you, with positives do come a couple negatives, and I mean seriously only a couple. When I was recording, I found a couple glitches that I'd never encountered before. Once I picked up a landmine and was unable to run or equip my main weapon any longer. The easiest fix for this was walking into enemy fire. Trying to resupply then later caused a laggy glitch, which was solved by looking at the box and hitting F again. So I just tried to resupply, and then it fucking glitched me out. And I hit F again, and it was fine. And the last one was a visual glitch. I was trying to switch weapons. I was using the FAL prior. I tried switching to another gun, and the FAL gun model stayed on screen. It was a little fucky, but yeah, whatever. Little shit, right? It's not game breaking or anything like that. And my last gripe is honestly just something that is a little more on the personal side of things. So they've got this character customization screen in this game, and it's using in-game currency you unlock by leveling up as you play through the game, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but I find that the options in the beginning, the very beginning, to make your character look kind of cool, is really locked behind this in-game paywall, so to speak. It's a little frustrating for me. It's not something that really adds to the game or anything like that, it's just kind of a personal gripe on that note. But honestly, I'll never put a bigger emphasis on this game, yet it's absolutely worth every penny playing it. I'm going to be hopping out there and playing it a hell of a lot more because it's extremely fun. It's got a ton of replayability, and I do highly recommend this. So if you haven't gotten out and bought this game, I think it's time. And I promise you, you're not going to fucking regret it. I've been an Unimportant Canadian. Have a great day, and I will see you guys in the next one.